Because your backpack's like all the way
It
bottom.
is, and I need some.
Those pictures you take.
I just pulled my
No,
backpack out.
when you
Take it like this, take it like this.
Oh, you missed it.
No, I mean if you
Miss
really want
what?
to, we did that.
Do it
Like,
again,
just
do it
me
again,
sticking
do it
it
again.
back.
Do it.
Everything, you can't
Is
just
it
like.
Come here.
Yeah.
Because it went into.
Dr. Lamid has had a lot of materials.
Nice.
Size of the scarf.
Oh, look. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Who has a
You got the
birthday
light?
coming up?
Just taking
Guess
a
what?
sweat.
We're gonna get her back.
It's your
You
job.
are the one. Where you guys going though?
Some business.
Okay. Week.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
She ate the cake and forgot. Yesterday we went to that karaoke place. So the guy goes, ID. So I said, listen, we just missed parking right there. I was looking at it just now. So he looks at it, then he goes, oh, happy birthday. And I forgot that was so I said, it's not my birthday. He's like, yeah, it was this week. Then I said, oh.
Wow. Is that video or what?
Video, yeah. It's a flip cap.
That's the only one I can operate.
I have one like that too. But this is high definition. The sound, the picture quality is amazing. Dr. Nkonko, you are in the business of diagnosing and letting people heal themselves.
Yes, sir.
When did you start this practice?
It's been a while.
Right?
I was in Nigeria.
Okay.
I was one who curated Dr. Damages.
But most of your patients are obviously in government service.
Yeah, even musicians
On
and
the bad
entertainers.
side of society.
Oh, yeah. And the difference between what I try to do and what they do, the comedians you have in Nigeria, is I don't touch the poor and the wretched and the weak.
Right.
I try to touch the powerful. I try to make them uncomfortable. So that's the difference.
Okay,
if you
but
watch
do
people like
you really
basketball-
believe that they know that they need healing?
Oh yeah, they
Because-
don't know what they are suffering from,
Right.
but they know they are suffering from something.
Okay.
So-
After you've told them, or they just suffer from it and they carry on.
Yeah, I just tell them, because when they're in the private of their own homes, hopefully they think, but in public they behave as if nothing.
So out of this
Because you were in that.
convention that we're attending here,
I'm going to post
Who
that
impressed
too
you?
on Facebook.
Who impressed me?
You want
Yes.
to post it on Sahara?
Um,
no, Facebook.
There was
Yeah.
besides
definitely
Professor
Facebook.
Chebe himself.
And then the
yeah,
other
there was
one
this
here,
Professor
we took
Richard Joseph
Right.
Yeah,
who talked about the BMC.
Okay, bad mess countries.
Yeah, the countries in Africa that are messed up.
Okay,
Yeah, and he identified Nigeria as one of them,
okay.
with Sudan. And then the calculation is that what happened to Sudan will probably happen to Nigeria, which is just have to split it. Somalia too is already split into two.
Do you really believe that something is gonna happen?
Oh yeah.
Like something is gonna change in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Because it seems like the culture of greed, taking money out of the
Yeah,
people's pockets is
the economist,
really ingrained into the people themselves.
the economist of London described Nigeria as the only country in the world where the best is not possible and the worst never happens. But I think we are at a point where something has to give, either the best will be possible
Right.
or the worst will happen. When we get to the point of the brink, the worst is about to happen, somehow Nigeria survives it and it continues, But the best doesn't happen, the worst will. But we are getting to the point where something will give, something will happen, and something will change.
In your own mind, what kind of leader does Nigeria deserve or need? And when I talk of leader, I think I'll collectively put, everybody in government. What kind? Because that's very difficult to come up with at this point, because greed is been dominating.
Yeah, until you change the country, at any point in time, every country will have the kind of leader they desire. So yeah, you are right. Nigeria is a corrupt society, so you are going to have a corrupt leader until you fundamentally change something about the country. You're not going to get a different kind of leadership in place.
Right.
Someone like Gani Fawehinmi, for instance, when he was running for president, Nigerian students who should know better were the ones saying that he should go to the Senate, that he cannot win the presidency. So even the Nigerian students, ordinary Nigerians, are believing that their votes is not what determines who becomes the leader of the country. So in such a situation, you find out that you always end up getting the kind of leaders that.
But if you ever met somebody who's impressed you and you've actually thought that this would be a good president for Nigeria, you know, just from the professors, the doctors, the
no, I don't
people
even think
in
anybody
society.
from the academic circle will be a good leader. Okay. You need somebody who is practical, who understands the situation on the ground, not people who believe in theoretical.
I've seen a lot of Nigerians that seem to understand what the problem is, but I've never met the person who seems to have the solution to the problem.
No, the solutions are everywhere. If you go and read the articles on any of the Nigerian newspapers or websites, the solutions are there. The question is, do we have the mechanism to implement the solution, or people who are willing to? Because it's not going to be easy.
Right.
You know, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be difficult. But as long as you don't have people who are willing to make the necessary moves and the sacrifice and the time,
right,
you're just gonna fail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice talking to you.
Thank
and
you. Thank you.
Right now, I'm sure you're out of your robes, your scrubs, and you're ready to hit
the
back
road.
to
Back to
Lagos.
New York City.
To Lagos.
Yeah.
Right.
To Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just say hello to this madam over here.
Hello. Get up.
Hello.
Hi.
Smile.
Hi, little
Smile
girl.
for the camera.
Hi, how y'all doing? I'm shy. I don't like to be in front of the camera.
Okay. I hear that you're a wanted personality in Nigeria. As
No,
of
I'm not.
Because
you've been practicing some series of, you know, this and that.
we should be going. We should be going. I'm like, yeah, we're just going home and shoot.
No.
He's confidence.
So we're still not sure.
Yo, you taking video of me?
What's this look like?
What this is, but I think
Anyway,
Hey, keeping it
there's
real.
good footage of 8
Count equipment, what denomination is on the form? 5, 5 or 10, 10 or 20. Mostly 1, 1. We are not too far. Oh, I was counting on the 1, 1. 1, 1 cannot get out too far. All right. Because we no more wasting time. Your association, get ready. Anthony, who is next? If we're next.
Udoka. 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 Ooh, I'm drinking my. Udoka. Tomato juice. Wait. Oh. Wait. I'm not. No, leave me alone.
Dr. Damages. Dr. Damages, wake up.
I don't want to wake up. I don't have anything to wake up to.
Dr. Donald Trump is...
Udoka, leave me alone. Donald who?
Donald Trump is here to see you.
I don't care.
And they're sleeping.
I don't care about Donald Trump. Damn Donald Trump.
Beyonce is here to see you.
Beyonce? Tell her to go. I don't want to see anybody.
The Fulani headsmen are here to see you.
Who? Fulani headsman?
Yeah. No!
Drink whiskey, you visit Joe Colombo. You smoke Igbo, you drink whiskey, you visit Joe King Jaguar.
Welcome. This is Reverend Thundo. I have been away. I go Vatican City. I was there just for Easter, but I'm back. I have a special guest here. You know her. She be keeping the real with Adiola down where they talk. Where they special guest. No, inside the church of the house of the Lord. Say hi to them.
I'm just here to pray for you.
You want to pray for me? Talk to them. Talk to them.
You need to repent your way.
Talk to them.
You go and jump.
Waiting they happen. I don't go places. There will be new beginning of the season. This is what we did in that test. Not the test. Now taste I do
So you
now.
still have more to come.
It's coming. It's
No,
coming.
I'm praying
The real
for
thing.
you,
Yeah,
for real.
she's praying for me.
You
but,
need to give your
but
life
this
to Christ.
is it. You guys make one the watch. I said make she come. Say hi to them. Say this is keeping
I
it
came
real.
to approve
She
this,
just came. Yeah, she
criminal
said
act.
she wants sign the document so that the
I came
Vatican
to
will allow
approve
me.
this. But you're doing a good
But
job.
thank
really.
you.
You're
I'm
very
trying.
proud of you.
Welcome.
But we are still praying for you.
Welcome,
You see
welcome.
now. You need to get your act together.
In the name of the Father and the Son and the
know
Holy
this
Ghost.
thing.
Amen.
Actually, my name is Kofi. Yeah, I'm from Ghanaian. Yeah, what we do here, we produce tummy mats, we make gifts, we make post fame in 1 week.
Can you make this one?
Yeah, of course. We make it up.
Wow.
Yeah, we make
You know,
it up.
Kosi spent 1.2 million naira to make her box big. You know, Kosi? How much did you have? You have Kosi? Did you do that?
Yeah.
Is it at your shop? Wait! You did that for Kosi or Jacob? No, okay. How much do you charge to do that? Because I have some women who are
The hip hop is 65,000.
65,000 naira.
The tummy one is 85.
85.
So my own now.
Where is your office? Is it around here? I
No,
can
it's
bring
area
10 people.
10.
Area 10.
But whenever you
Where are
want
we?
to
Area
call
1
the
or
card, I will direct you.
I'll just call. Are you the doctor? Dr. Victor Lobika?
Yes, this company name is my name, Dr. Kofi.
Dr. Kofi?
Yeah.
Wow, fellow doctor. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, nice to meet you.
Wow.
Have you guys been meeting?
Yeah.
Doctors
this is the
come.
first time I'm meeting a doctor. All the people are ordinary people. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Greetings from the Pastoral Diocese of Hayes Island. I am the Most Reverend Rudolph Hayes, the Bishop of Hayes Island. And these are my pronouncements. And it came to pass that on the first day of his second coming, while he was taking a walk along the banks of the confluence where River Niger met River Benue, the multitude besieged him, yelling, Son of God, why do you look different from the pictures in our calendars, in our parlor? Others shouted, Son of God, why do you look different from your statue in the front of our churches and by the entrance of the parsonage? Others shouted that his carved images on their church windows and doors do not look like him. He sat them down by the slow-flowing river and told them the parable of one prophet Muhammad who came after him, and how the prophet had forbidden his disciples from making his image, not in drawing and not in statues. Beloved, do you know why he did that? He asked them. No, the multitude said, shaking their heads. And he said unto them, it was to avoid questions like these ones that you're asking me. He wanted everyone to see him in themselves, whether they are man or woman, black or white, tall or short. When Amadou, the son of Bello, who was just passing by on his way back to Sokoto, asked him, Teacher, did he work for Mohammed? And he said to Amadou, you should know the answer, Amadou. If it worked, would your children have demanded that MKO Abiola should pick a Muslim from the north as his vice presidential candidate? Would they have done so if his own Muslim was good enough for a balanced ticket? And Amadou walked away without saying another word. Repent ye, for it is written, he said to them, blessed are those who know how much they need to know before they know how little they know. One Dora, the daughter of Eddie Mobley, married to the son of Akonyami, asked him, Master, what are we going to do now? Even when I'm filled with the Holy Spirit, I still see you as a blue-eyed, blonde, white man. with pointed nose, while I'm just a descendant of Simon of Cyrene, the one who carried your cross. And from the back row, Fela, the son of Kuti, shouted, "Ha ha! Joseph Pikin, we still they carry you across. This time, no be the Romans when they force us to do it. We did do it because of the way our brain don't be brainwashed. Still, we no get anything to show for him. Why?" And he looked up to the heavens, his head buried inside the sky. When his head came down, he said unto them, "I am who I am, and not what those first Fulani headsmen of this world made me." And the multitude was confused. Who are the first Fulani headsmen of this world? They asked each other. And one of the elders, Chinua, the son of Achebe, explained to them that the first Fulani headsmen of this world were white people. He described how white people went from one continent to another, killing indigenous people, destroying their lands, their languages, and their environment, enslaving them and taking over their countries. They did it to the Indians of America, the Aborigines of Australia, the Mayans of Mexico, the First Nations of Canada, and many others, Elder Achebe said. In few places where they did not wipe out these indigenous people, they locked them up in reservations, never to be heard from again. They will have completely destroyed us in West Africa, if not that mosquitoes put up a strong fight on our behalf. He overheard what Elder Achebe of the Lower Niger was saying unto them. He wiped his brow and said, "Do not despair, my brethren, for I am because you are, and you are because I am." But Diprey, the son of Alamesia, said unto him, "My friend, why is the devil depicted in my image? A black man who looked like a buffoon?" "Yes," the multitude shouted. "Why is that? Why is that? It is unfair. All these injustices have messed up our brains. He has made them to think we are lesser humans. He has made us think less of ourselves. Why? Why?" He looked at them and had pity on them. He explained that he made a mistake. He said that he thought Moses' second commandment was enough for the people he left behind on his first coming, not to make an image of him. He said if he had known, he would have specifically forbidden them from making any picture or any statue of him, just like Muhammad did when he saw the damage it had caused. "So, what shall we do now?" Alamisia asked him. "Go ye and destroy all the images of mine that you have," he said unto them. "If anyone should ask you, tell them that you have seen me, and I am not anything like those depictions represent." And the multitude was excited. As they fired out, they each brought out their camera and took a selfie with him. For one last time, he said unto them, "While you destroy those images, seek me not, for I will go back to my father for a quick consultation." Benson, the son of Idahosa, was not happy about what he heard. He whispered into the ears of the man next to him. That was what he said the last time he came, and it took him over 2,000 years to come back. Benson immediately regretted saying it. He hoped the Son of God did not overhear what he had said. These are the pronouncements of Bishop Hayes of Hayes Island. As I speak to you, some heartbroken deities of our forefathers are locked up in the living room of a rich man somewhere in Europe. They still have their hands stretched out, waiting for sacrifice from us, their children. Instead, what they get every day is mockery from men and women who speak languages that our deities do not understand. These men and women stir a cocktail of whiskey and raspberry in our deities' tasty faces and puff some Cuban cigar on their ancient brows. Welcome to another episode of Urgent Care, where we treat matters too urgent to wait for tomorrow. I am Dr. Damages. So last week, 2 artifacts that belong to Africa were auctioned in Paris by the auction house Christie's. The artifacts were parts of what our forefathers used to worship God. They were stolen from the southeast of Nigeria during the Nigeria-Biafra Civil War. Christie's sold them for about $240,000 to an unnamed collector. So for another 3 to 5 decades, these deities, left hungry and naked, will be slaves to some white masters. Sounds familiar? Of course, Christie said that they were not stolen. If they were stolen from a conflict zone, it would be against the Hague Convention of 1954 that banned dealings in antiquities from armed conflict zones. In 1970, UNESCO also banned trade in stolen artifacts. Now, Christie said that a French art collector, a friend of French President Jacques Chirac, acquired them from some local agent in Cameroon before shipping them to Europe. The man kept them in his private collection until he died, and his family decided to sell them to another collector. Didn't President Emmanuel Macron, the teacher's boy, promise in 2018 to return stolen African arts to the continent? They have over 20,000 of them in French museums. How did they get all of that? It is the same in British museums. How did the British get theirs? Stolen, of course. In an attack on Ethiopia in 1868, the British army plundered the artifacts in the palace of Emperor Theodosius II in Magdala. They used 15 elephants and 200 mules to transport the stolen artifacts. 15 elephants. In an attack at the Benin Empire in 1897, the British stole the Great Benin bronze artifacts. It's still in London. I know what you are thinking, that if they were not stolen, if they were in Nigeria or anywhere in Africa, that some end-time pastors or Islamic fundamentalists will have set those objects on fire in the name of a foreign god named Jesus or a foreign prophet named Muhammad. You're right. Those brainwashed pastors and Islamic fundamentalists have destroyed so many of these ancient objects in scores of shrines across Africa. These objects are our only connection to our past. They would have been worth millions, hundreds of millions of dollars if they had been preserved. I know some of our people think these objects are powerless, impotent, but that does not make them worthless, and that does not make them useless. They are parts of our heritage, our history, and should reside in our home, Africa. Just like a prophet, not recognized by his own people, a work of art is often not recognized by its own inheritors. The dangerous people are those who think that these objects have negative powers. They are the ones who lead passionately misguided pastors and Islamic fundamentalists to the shrines of their forefathers to destroy them. Meanwhile, all over Europe, the same people who brought Christianity to us kept the objects their forefathers used to worship their God. Even in churches in Paris, London, Vatican, Madrid, you see these objects preserved for eternity. Somehow, we have become smarter than those who brought Christianity to us, that we boldly destroy the deities of our forefathers. Meanwhile, in China and Japan, they have continued to worship their God the way their forefathers did. It did not stop them from becoming technologically advanced. Black lives matter. We have to scream that Black lives matter because everyone, including Black people, devalues Black lives. Do you know why it is so? It is because Black people do not value their deities. We Black people have abandoned our deities by the roadsides, allowing kids and charlatans to play with them. No people are ever valued more than they value their deities. Foreign religions, just like most foreigners, are mere visitors who will go when it is time for them to go. The question is, will we still have anything left to follow when these foreign religions are gone? Will we? Africa, who did this to us? Who did this to us? To be the holy and undivided Trinity now and forever. Amen. Now, here is my fellow laborer in the vineyard of the Lord, delivering a sermon recently. Take a look.
Look at the brain drain. They take the best of Africa, take them away to Europe, take them away to America, and now to Asia, to China.
Yeah, tell them,
And
my
you don't
brother,
care.
tell them. Do you know that Nigeria has more pastors in America today than all the missionaries from Europe that came and converted Africans into Christians in less than 50 years? Do you know that? Yet, if you go to any of our churches in America or Europe, less than 1% of the membership are Americans or Europeans. I'm just saying,
What kind of leadership that doesn't think about the future? What kind of leadership that has no vision for the future?
Yeah, the vision of the leaders of our churches is simply to collect from their own people what they've worked hard for in America and Europe in tithes and offerings. There are millions of Americans and Europeans out there waiting to be converted, waiting to pay tithes with old money. But no, we are feasting on our suffering brothers and sisters. When will that end?
We need leaders in Africa that can think. Leaders that have a brain, that have some mind, that have a vision.
I agree, my brother. We need pastors who can think. After over 30 years of running a church and over 145 branches across 5 continents, pastors like my brother, Pastor Chris, need to do better. It is time a Nigerian pastor gets one Bill Gates or Warren Buffett to join his church. Just imagine Jeff Bezos of Amazon as a member of Christ Embassy. His 10% tithe is $19 billion right there. With that, Pastor Chris will never ask for a tithe ever. What is so hard about converting him? What?
Even as a young person in the university, I was just a young guy in the university. I made up my mind, still as a young kid, that I'll never go to another country to beg for money or anything. And I haven't done it.
Yeah, Pastor Chris might not have packed his bags permanently to move to another country like me. But he made sure he has a church in all the big cities in the world. And I'm sure if you check his church's revenue, most of the money comes from London, from New York, from Johannesburg, and others. That is why some of his fellow pastors like us make sure that the church is represented at the big cities where the money is coming from by trusted pastors, usually, a blood brother or a son or a daughter or a cousin or other relations. Not these I too know pastors that will steal your money and steal your membership and break away and go and form their own churches, like what is happening at Redeemed Christian Church of God.
Paul said, when I was a child, I thought like a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things. When will Africa put away childish things?
When will African pastors put away childish things like cooking their hair, speaking phonetics, wanna, I gonna, hello, while their local languages are dying? When will they end that? I'm asking you, my brother.
Listen, Africa is old enough. At this time, every nation in Africa that is still calling for help from another country, the leadership is ashamed.
Yes, sir.
You see, African churches are old enough that they should stop running to Europe and America to establish branches that serve just their own people in Europe and America. No, at this point, Americans and Europeans, are you hearing me, Pastor? Americans and Europeans should be coming to Africa, to Nigeria's own Vatican. I'm talking about the Lagos Ibadan Expressway, to pay homage. Learn from Nigerian churches. Take the lessons learned to their own people. That's what should be happening.
You have more than enough resources to help your country. Why are you borrowing money from nations that don't have it? Europe doesn't have enough resources to borrow you money. Neither does China.
Now, you have more than enough pastors to visit every village in America and turn all those God-forsaken Americans into real Christians who speak in tongues and who get it when you say, take it, yeah, take it now.
They're only borrowing you money that they got from you.
Yes, sir.
Human life started in Africa. Any African copying the West is bringing shame to Africa. The rest of the world copied all that they are today from Africa. Our task is to rediscover ourselves. I'm telling you, all my beloved pastors, they are because we are. What did you just hear? What is your takeaway? Tell me in the comment section. Hey, Nigeria lost one of its illustrious sons, Yinka Odumakin. He was best known as a spokesman for Afenifere, the Yoruba cultural group. Since his death, every character in Nigeria has come out to pay tribute to him. Even the people he called the enemies of Nigeria. His wife, Jo, captured his life when she said this. As our way of paying tribute to Yinka, we got our honorable noisemaker to reenact Yinka's most famous Facebook post. It is the most relevant of his posts today. In it, Yinka was fighting back after Tinubu's boys attacked him. In the post, Yinka compared himself to our president in waiting, Bola Tinubu. How dare you, Yinka? How dare you? Dimeji, take it away.
I am Yinka Odumakin, and nobody can say he had known me under any identity in my life. I had led a straight life, unlike you that people know under different identity. Depending on where they meet you in your about 80 years on heart, Abi. Yes, I mean it. 80 years, I mean it. Those of us who know, who are knowledgeable about you, can buy your 66 years claim of for so many reasons. Yes, for so many reasons. The current governor of Osun State is the son of your immediate senior sister from Iragbeji, and he is 63 years old. Yes, he's 63 years old. While you are claiming 66 years, imagine, look at that. Your first wife died in Lagos recently, unannounced, at the age of 74. you can see that where that is shady. When the son she had for you died many months earlier, his age had to be doctored to fit into the life that you live. And there is a photograph of yours at the Palace of Seun Ogbomoso in 1974 when the current monarch was installed with a bottle of beer and a packet of cigarette in front of you. Do you mean you were just about 20 years old at that time? Drinking and smoking in the palace? That I doubt it. I doubt it. There is no school that I have attended in my life that my classmates will not come up in droves. Will not come up in droves to say, yes, we know him. We were there together. We were there together. from St. Augustine Primary School in Ondo to CAC Grammar School in Eduabon and Oduduwa College in Ile-Ife, down to even Obafemi Awolowo University, where I attended my university, and also University of Ghana. Nobody will say they don't know me. They all come and say, yes, we know him. He is my classmate. And at your end, at St. John Primary School, Aroloya, that you claim that you attended, that was even created by the governor you installed, and the old boys of Government College, Ibadan, were planning a reception for you when someone just asked, which set does it belong to? there has never been any answer to that till date, and the reception was cancelled quietly. It was cancelled quietly. The Tales by Moonlight on Chicago State University and the University of Chicago are all over the place. They're all over the place. You won't know it. My parents are alive in Osun today, and by God's grace, I will give them a befitting burial. I will not have to send emissaries to bury them, since I have not abandoned mommy. That's how we or your people in Osun State call our mommy. To be calling another woman mommy in Lagos to fit the life of lie and greed. No, Mama HID Awolowo would have told me that she knew all the children of Miami, and that I was not one of them. Yes, she would have told me that. Yeah, my parents are not rich, but I am proud of them, because it is from that black pot that this my white pop has come out. I say proudly among many among my university mates today that they could not afford more than 60 naira per month for me throughout my university days. The story of grass to grace is a proud thing among the Yoruba people. We should be proud of that. That reminds me about MKO Abiola was proud of the story that he ate egg for the first time in his life in the home of Simbiat Abiola's parents. Yes, he said that proudly, because that was a true story. With the modest means of my parents, they instill so much values in me that there is no crime attached to my name in all my years on earth. Yes, for forging a traveling passport had never appealed to me. Neither has my name been linked to a narcotic ring leading to inquiry and forfeitures of assets. All my life, my aunt has provided for me, and they have provided for you too, I believe, and I hope. Yes, I recall when you returned from exile in 1998 and you were running for the governor of Lagos State at that time. You were not Ezego. Everybody knows you were not Ezego then. You are only the Sunday at the Gun house, and all the 4 cars you used then belonged to Mr. Ganil Solomon. There was a lot of printing being done for you by your friends at the news, yes, at the newspaper. I saw the price you were being offered, and I told you my press could do it for you at about 40%. I delivered, and I saved you about 60%. Of course, I recall Mr. Babafemi Ojodu complained openly that they could not do the price I offered you. They said it in silence. They said it. Yes, that should tell you and your attack dogs that I have always separated the cause I believe in from what I would eat, unlike you, who has always mixed the two together. You post as a June 12th hero today, but Kola Abiola is alive to tell the story of what happened to MKO Abiola's money, as Bashorun is no longer alive today. In 20 years, there has hardly been any boundary between Lagos Treasury and your private pockets. Your auto-gare movement is coming someday, I'm telling you, and all the dirty deals will be out. You will see. Like a rapist, you can tell your victim to shout "Otokpe" for as long as stolen funds and drugs money rule Lagos politics. Yes, that's what it is. I have noticed one thing, that because you and your followers have no abiding principle, and you are all driven by only lust for money, you assume it is so for everybody. you're being glued to the lowest of the spirits money makes it difficult for you to make the right judgment about people thinking they're all about money. No, not at all. Was it that you didn't have money when I told you in December 2006 that it was over between us politically? Have I ever looked at your direction ever since then? No. There are men who may not be able to give 10,000 to a cause, but if they say they want to see me at 8 a.m., I will there be at 7 I'll be there simply at 7 a.m. Can you summon me with your bullion verse? No, you cannot. I recall how you said to me in 2006 about Senator Tokunbo Afikuyomi. Yes, and I quote you directly. Adiyeni Tokunbo. You said that correctly. To Tokunbo, meaning that Tokunbo is a foul. Throw corns and it will make a U-turn. Has it not turned its back at you today? You don't have corns again. Yes, you don't. This was the man who was your fall guy when you made all the forgeries in 1999. He was among the team that went to bury your biological mother in Iragweji when you could not even show up your face. Yes, you could not show up your face. You are not proud of your parents. As his exit not showing you that there are men who place value on principle than money. You don't know. I have lived my life. I have lived my political life on the basis of the fact that an adversary today can be an ally tomorrow, and vice versa. I'm not beholden to any person outside the core beliefs we share. One of the men I had an open disagreement with was the president Obasanjo at that time, and when we reconciled it was an open thing that everybody I told you as a matter of fact that proposition was unreasonable and there was nothing for me to think about, as I would prefer outright third term where we would have the election to automatic 2-year extension. But my eyes were open to how unreliable you are at that night. Here was a man dictating communique against third term in the morning and having this conversation with me at night. I made up my mind on that very night that the conversation I had with you minutes after Funshaw Williams was killed, and the way you handled your succession mandate to me, to serve the political links with you, to sever the political links with you within 6 months, cut and paste your transcript here. Thank you.
I'm not a showmaker. I'm not an entertainer. I'm not a man of story. I have evidences. When you say I am a showmaker, then you bring to me your evidences that make you to be better than me. You are just a noisemaker. I pray, but my joke is too dangerous. I smile, but my smiling is too dangerous. I am God of many chorus.
Be as far away from Abuja as possible in 5 months' time, so that nobody can create any problem for me anymore.
My people, make una see the way Tinubu dey bow to his own boy Osibanjo. For age, Tinubu senior Osibanjo. Osibanjo na boy to Tinubu, but because of desperation to become next president, see the way to Baba dey bow for a young boy. Can you imagine? See how humble Baba be to his own boy. I beg, may we vote wisely. I beg.
in front of Tinubu's house. Look at beggars. Beggars in front of Tinubu's house. December 24th, 2022. Isn't this just crazy? Crazy. In front of Tinubu's house. And I'm driving. I'm not walking. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Right, what's here?
Oh, eh? You can't hear? You can't hear? Eh?
Ene groshi isagori angori awana gibus oh Lord the one in man you are to our Lord nene we are very to God we are very to my side we very to God on my side 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 we very to God we are very to my side we very to God on my side on my side ene Ene grosi isagoli angoli awana gibus oh Lord the one in man you are to our Lord name amen we are very to God we are very to my side we very to God on my side 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 we very to God we are very to my side we very to God on my side on my side